Get them verified, add the value, and get some of that premium, how all of us can use genomics, and crew, it works. Let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart. A big thank you goes out to our partners, Pharmatan and Igenity Ingredients, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange, and the Fence Post, Westway Feed Products, Allied Genetic Resources, Livestock Market, Equine Market, and AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler. Cow Country News, you know, the cow stuff. Heading right into the news and an update on Proposition 12 from California. Now, after a United States Supreme Court ruling, all pork products sold in California must meet the requirements of Proposition 12 starting in July, unless ongoing efforts to delay the implementation are successful. When the new rules go into effect, experts believe that a black market will emerge. Steve Meyer, lead economist at Partners for Production Agriculture, warned that lower-income residents who will be mostly affected by the law may have an incentive to purchase non-compliant products at lower prices to avoid reporting violations. Currently, sellers can self-certify, but starting January 1st of 2024, certification will be required along with audits. Meyer estimated that only half of the sows necessary to meet California's requirements are currently in production. Additionally, a similar law in Massachusetts is set to go into effect in mid-June, requiring an additional 90,000 sows. This means that less than half of the compliant sows needed for California will be available. As a result, the amount of pork legally sold in California is expected to be reduced by about 50%. Posing a challenge for the U.S. pork sector to find alternative markets. Meyer projected that 5 to 8% of U.S. production will need to find new markets, which could have implications for prices. And a number of experts are watching in the beef sector. Could this start to trickle over into our industry, hence reporting what's going on with our other proteins? Additional news from California now. The federal government expands its reach. The California Assembly passed a bill that bans potentially harmful chemicals in food. The bill, which is the first of its kind in the United States, passed by a 54-11 vote. The bill now moves to the California Senate for consideration. Now, if passed, it could set a precedent and pressure the Federal Food and Drug Administration to take action. Now, the European Union has already banned certain chemicals from food use. Now, Beyond Meat looks like it's in financial trouble. Beyond is looking to raise as much as $200 million in an equity offering as the plant-based protein company deals with slumping sales and diminished cash revenues. The announcement comes in the wake of first-quarter sales that exceeded expectations. However, analysts and the market are still questioning Beyond's trajectory. The company could be expected to lean harder into the European market, where demand for plant-based meat remains stronger than it is in the United States, as evidenced by the McPlant still being a permanent item in many McDonald's locations in Germany and other countries. However, the market was more certain, with shares of Beyond dropping to their lowest level on record in the hours following the company's statement. Now, when the bell rang last week on Thursday afternoon, the stock was down 18.3% to $10.20 a share, its largest percent decrease since November 10th of 2020. Overall, the stock price has fallen 61% since last year. Now, what does that tell you? And that is a look at news that is hitting all of us in cow country. Our sale barn report today takes us to Salina, Kansas, home of Farmers and Ranchers Livestock, starting out with the weigh-up cows and bulls. On the bull side, from $1.21.5 all the way up to $1.45, and then the weigh-up cows, nothing under $1, $1.05 all the way up to $1.1850. That's that salvage value that we've been talking about the last few weeks. Moving into the feeder cattle, on the steer side, a group of black white-faced steers coming in at $557 at $268.5, and then some heavier cattle to report, 817 weight black steers at $214. Here is a potload of 9 weight mixed steers. These are blacks and reds and baldies at $205.5. On to the heifers. Here's a group of black heifers, 578 weights at $245. Some heavier heifers. Here's some mixed heifers weighing 831 at $1.68, and then a group of 878 weight heifers at $1.82. Staying in Kansas, we're going to head up to St. Mary's and home of Rezac Livestock Commission. Here's a group of black and black white-faced steers weighing 658 at $259. Then I've got some 879 weight steers. These are black and black white faces at just a tick over $2 at $2.50. Then I've got some 976 weight black and black white-faced steers at $1.95.35 for the stockers and feeder heifers. Some mixed heifers, blacks and black white faces, some reds in there weighing $6.93 at $1.83.50. Now, if there's a barn or a location that you would like us to gather and gain some additional numbers on, just give me a holler at 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. Leave me a message there or send me a text. You can always email us at ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Coming up, since we're talking about feeder cattle, how to add some value, how to get some premium, how to maximize each and every dollar out of those calves. We're talking about utilizing genomics and how it can work on your outfit, how it can work on my outfit. We're going to be visiting with the crew from Neogen here coming up after the break. So we've got a lot more of the Ranch It Up radio show, and it's coming at you right after this. LivestockMarket.com puts you in control when buying or selling commercial livestock, seed stock, or show stock. The easy-to-use online platform at LivestockMarket.com offers private treaty, online auction, and live auction internet bidding. Animals are sold before they ever leave your place. And with LivestockMarket.com, there's no middleman. Buyers connect directly with livestock and hay producers. There's no easier way to find buyers for cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, and hay. Sell on your terms today with LivestockMarket.com.
Watch RFD TV anytime, anywhere on all your connected devices with RFD TV Now. Simply go to watchrfdtv.com and sign up for just $9.99 a month, or save more and pay just $89.99 for the year. You can begin streaming RFD TV live right away and have access to your favorite shows 24/7 on demand. Go to watchrfdtv.com, sign up, and start streaming today.
EquineMarket.com puts you in control of buying and selling horses of all breeds and disciplines. The easy-to-use online platform at EquineMarket.com offers private treaty sale, online auction, and live auction internet bidding. Horses never leave the farm until the buyer arrives, and because buyers connect directly with sellers, there's no middleman. Sell horses and hay on your terms today with EquineMarket.com.
Cattle Battle.
The Ranch It Up radio show, the most information packed into a 30-minute program that you can find anywhere. It's your all things weekly ranching newscast, and so glad to be hanging out with y'all. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, rants, it doesn't matter. Call and text us at 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. You can email us, ranchitupshow@gmail.com, and we're all over social media, Ranch It Up Show. Now, we're all wondering just how high these feeder cattle prices may hit. Awfully darned exciting if you ask me. I hope we are all able to take advantage of a potential profit. And why not give your calves a competitive edge and give buyers solid, and I mean solid, statistical data on how they should perform. Give your buyers the opportunity to pay that premium. This means getting your cattle verified with the Igenity Beef or the Igenity Feeder program through Neogen. And here's the nice part, the great part, in fact. Igenity Branded feeder cattle, or cattle that have had the Igenity Beef program run on them and branded, if you will, as the Igenity Branded cattle, are bringing premium dollars. Now, Tanner King joins me today. Tanner is the Feedlot Business Development Manager with Neogen. His whole life, crew, has been devoted to the feedlot and cattle feeding industry. He knows cattle, he knows how to make one work, and he knows the margins, he knows the genetics. Tanner, thanks for being with us on the program. Welcome aboard, I guess I should say. We are talking genomics and the Igenity Beef program and using precision to manage the inputs and outputs of our products, i.e. using technology to select cattle, and in this case, select feeder cattle to be more profitable. How are you using genomics to procure feeder cattle? Let's start right there.
We think about genomics, cattle management or cattle reproduction, right? Selection and picking those cattle out. I take it on the other side of it and use genomics as a tool for management, how to more precisely manage those cattle and kind of feed to the same uniform endpoints.
How do you use it to manage those cattle in the feed yards?
We use genomics to sort cattle out, right? You take two black feeder steers side by side, and one of those cattle has the potential to marble and grade better than the other one. And so we use that information along with some other things to kind of predict the maturity of those cattle, how fast they marble, and how fast they get to the selected endpoint or the endpoint we're trying to get to.
So how successful has that done when you've been trying to predict said outcomes?
Carcass traits are the most predictable out of all traits for cattle. There's tons of phenotype information, lots of genotype information behind them, and so carcass traits are highly heritable and easily predicted. Igenity Branded's kind of spin-off as to prove value of these feeder cattle, right? So by genomically testing feeder cattle, we're able to prove the value of those cattle and then turn around and use that information in a feed yard as to how to more appropriately feed cattle.
Talk to me a little bit about the potential value on those 6-weight steers by getting enrolled in either the Igenity feeder program and or the Igenity branded program.
So to date, we've seen about a $60 premium on cattle marketed with an Igenity branded program. Those cattle that marketed into the top tier. There's 3 tiers: elite, choice, and verified. And so those three tiers also lead into the ability of some indexes that we use to predict the value of those cattle. And out of that index, the top 25% cattle versus the bottom 25% cattle, with today's kind of current cattle market, those cattle are worth about $185 difference between those two.
Oh, wow.
On a per head basis.
Yeah, that's
hanging on the rail. As that goes, we're tying a lot of money into these cattle. Using some precision to manage these cattle is the way we're going to be able to gain some of that large spread of dollars back.
So it's more than just having your cattle verified with Igenity branded. It's more than just that. Just because you do that doesn't mean necessarily you're going to get the premium. You got to have the genetics behind those cattle too.
At the beginning of this thing, like you said, it takes producers and your genetic providers to bring up the quality of the cattle as a whole. All we're doing is verifying that quality and then taking that information and using it to manage cattle at the next stage of their life.
For one way to make this work, buyers have to be aware of the program. Buyers have to be aware of genomics. Buyers have to be, extremely educated of different types of loads of cattle, if we're talking load lots or pens, or if we're just, talking 1 or 2. So how are we going about educating those buyers of this is what the program is, this is what it does, here's what we can do, here's the stats, here's the data? Or is that the ongoing battle that we have, is simply spreading the word and informing more people about said potential?
That's the ongoing battle. In a nutshell, kind of my role is developing those relationships and showing the value of these products to those buyers. Cattle feeding and cattle buying as a whole has kind of been done on an average since, cattle feeding started. And no matter how you slice it, an average of an average is still an average. And so when we can start to add a little more precision to what we do, it's pretty easy to separate out the value at that point. It's just a matter of putting that information in front of people and showing them.
When is the time of year to be able to, or when should we be enrolling in one of the programs?
Igenity Branded is a pretty simple thing in my mind, right? If you're a commercial cow-calf producer, you should be testing your replacement heifers, and we'll take those values from the replacement heifers by proxy for the feeder steers. But you're getting, 2 times the value for the same product, right? You're getting information to better select replacement heifers and improve your cow herd. Plus, you're able to verify and prove the value and the genetic potential of your calf crop that you're marketing.
So has that been maybe hard at some times for some producers to swallow said information, especially when they do it the first time, to really establish a benchmark?
Yeah, absolutely. I can think of a few producers that have kind of had that aha moment. It's one thing to have that aha moment and just keep on going. And it's another thing to take that and progress your genetics in your cow herd. We've changed as an industry to where we don't retain ownership on as many cattle as producers used to. And that used to be your benchmark of quality, right? If the cattle fed good, you were raising good cattle. Where there's not as many people retaining ownership, there's got to be some other tools used to kind of verify quality to you as a producer.
So what are we talking about for a dollar amount per head, cost per head? What are we looking at to be able to capture some of the, like you were saying, $160, $70, $80 plus? What are we looking at for an investment?
Test an Igenity beef, so kind of a replacement heifer test, includes parentage, so you can verify sire and which sires are doing what you want them to do. That test runs $29, and we take that test by proxy and add that to your feeder steers to brand those or to use those in our marketing program to help prove the value of the feeder cattle. That's $29. And we also have a feeder test that doesn't include the 17 traits like our Igenity beef replacement heifer test does, but it includes a couple indexes that kind of prove out the terminal value of an animal. And so that test runs $15 per head, and that's quite a bit less, obviously, not as much information provided. And those animals are terminal in nature and not getting used over the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Igenity Branded would mean that they were tested and verified and then ranked based on our Igenity terminal index or Igenity maternal index. So it's an index of multiple traits to kind of put together. They're ranked on that index, and then we use that to determine or help to prove out the value of those cattle. As we evolve and as things change as an industry, all of our other agriculture producing partners, whether it be other proteins or other commodities or crops, they all are using precision agriculture, precision technology. I mean, we're spraying weeds individually in fields, going 10 miles an hour. And so it's all using precision to manage the inputs and outputs of their products. And as we progress as a protein producing industry, that needs to be in our sight gauge for sure. Although it takes a management change to do some of this stuff, it's pretty easy to see the return, even easier after a guy has progressed and used it for a couple of years. It's pretty expensive to raise replacement heifers every year. It's pretty expensive to overfeed or underfeed a steer for 30 days. So trying to put all that together and use it for better management and selection practice is the path we're headed down.
So will you help with that in terms of almost like consulting, where once we get our data back, to help us to interpret it, to help us to make said decisions? Because like you said, the first time we see that, there may be that aha moment, both good and both bad, but that is the pivotal moment. So do you come in and help us go through that information?
We have a large dedicated sales team, right? Kind of a consulting type roles, and they're very good about helping understand data and helping utilize that data in selection and practices going forward. We also have a very knowledgeable and technical services team to where those guys can jump out and help put together and make use of that data. When we start talking about genetics and DNA, sometimes we can get down in the weeds on things, and those guys are very good at putting it back in the middle of the road and helping explain what we do and how it works.
And a key point is that it does work. For more information on the Igenity Beef program and how to get your cattle verified as Igenity Branded, get a hold of your local Neogen rep. Now, if you're not sure who that is, just reach out to us here at the Ranch It Up Radio Show, and we will make sure you get in contact with the right individuals in your area. Tanner King with Neogen, thanks so much for being on the show. Look forward to talking again this fall and reporting on those calves that are sold as Igenity Branded. Not a bad ROI, a return on investment of $29 a head, and then you get certain of what females in your herd are the best performers, thus producing, at the end of the day, better and more consistently efficient beef. Makes sense now, doesn't it? Now, coming up, we talk those markets and market prices with Kirk Donsbach with StoneX Financial Incorporated. The music means the Ranch It Up Radio Show. We'll be right back. The Ranch It Up Radio Show. It's all things ranching, cattle, cowboy, and markets, some history, lots of news and information, topics to help you put dollars back into your pocket. That's just a little bit of what you will hear each and every week, and we strive to bring you what you need. Now, if there's a subject that you want us to cover, a sale barn, say a producer you want us to talk to, get a hold of us anytime. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call or text us at 707-RANCH-20. And remember, it's your program, not ours. What is one of your favorite times of year? And it's right around the corner.
Easy. Branding season. I love branding season.
Crew, it doesn't matter if you're selling commercial heifer calves come fall or bulls next spring. Branding season is the time to take samples for genetic testing. Get enrolled in Igenity Branded or Igenity Beef. Add value to those feeder cattle. Add value to your breeding cattle through genetic evaluation tools from, you guessed it, Neogen.
You asked for it, you got it. Watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit cowboychannelplus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up Radio Show. It's that time of day when we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, and you can follow along, get more details from Kirk each and every week, by texting the word cattle, CATTLE, to 33777, and you will start getting his newsletter, like I said, each and every week. Kirk, how are you? Welcome aboard, my friend.
I'm very good, sir. And how are you today, Tigger?
Everything is just spectacular. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. I get to hang out with Kirk, and I get to talk markets and numbers. I mean, what more could you ask for in life, right?
Right. What more could you ask for?
So let's talk numbers. What's going on with it, my friend? Because everybody is speculating. Like, everybody is saying, well, how high can these pairs go? How high? What are feeders going to be this fall? I mean, everybody is speculating on this stuff.
Oh, boy, that's $1 million question, and it sure looks like they're going to be high.
Right.
As of Friday, May 26th, August feeders closed the week at $233.90. That's down $1.20, with the CME feeder index at 209.86. So cash went up $7.50 on the week. That's a big move in the cash market. That left our basis versus August futures a negative $24.65. A still very large number, but much smaller than the $32 basis we had not very long ago. June live closed the week at 167.27.5. That's up $1.37.5 on the week. With the big news for the week, cash trading early in the week, 170 to 172 in the south, and then 180 to 183 in the north. That left the 5-area weighted average up $3.40 at 177.71. Our basis versus June futures was positive $10.36. That's still a very large basis, especially as we roll into June and expiration. And so I would say futures have some more work to do. Weekly slaughter was 625,000. That's down 17,000 on a week-over-week basis and 16,000 lower versus that week last year. Choice boxes printed 303.93, up 562 on the week, and up above the critical $3 level. To wrap this up, December corn closed the week 534.5, up 35 cents on the week. The charts got some reversal action higher, and they penetrated the down trend line. That was all encouraged by hot, dry weather in the I states, so Illinois, Iowa, etc.
Hey, all. Mark Van Zee with LivestockMarket.com. Coming up this Wednesday, June 7th, we have an all-class cattle online auction. Bidding opens at just $100 a head, no reserves. All lots will sell. Featured lots include 36 Angus pairs, 5 to 8 years old, 1,200 pounds, exposed to a registered black Hereford bull, 11 calves already on the ground, 6 heifers, 5 bulls from L&H Farms in Bridgeport, Texas. 38 Bradford Hereford pairs, 5 to 8 years old. They weigh 13-15. They've been exposed to an Angus bull for 5 weeks. Calves are weighing around 240 pounds. They're sired by Red Angus and Charolais bulls from C&H Farms in Gravett, Arkansas. 30 Angus open replacement heifers. Fancy, 850 pounds, closed herd, hand-fed, quiet, easy keepers from Norseman Auctions in Manitoba, Canada. 15 Simmental Jersey Cross steers, 394 pounds. These are the University of Nebraska rodeo team's roping calves. They're fully vaccinated, docile, easy to handle, and they're going to give you free delivery within 100 miles of Lincoln, Nebraska. Plus 3 Angus open replacement heifers, 2 Charolais, 1 Tiger Stripe open replacement heifer, 2 Red Angus cows, 2 Black Angus cows, and 1 Charolais bull, all selling from Heartland Auction in Garden City, Kansas. Bidding is currently live, but all lots will sell the morning of Wednesday, June 7th. Now, coming up on Wednesday, June 21st, we have a special bred cow, pair, and heifer sale. To list, call 844-775-4762 or just go online to livestockmarket.com.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Now, before we say fairly well, we want to give a big tip of the hat to all of those recent graduates, but more specifically, those of you that are onto your summer jobs already. You're helping friends, neighbors on the farms and ranches, putting in the hours. That's what we like to see. And now that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks from our crew to yours, Tanner King with Neogen, Mark Vanzy, livestockmarket.com, Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, the boss lady, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. A big thanks goes out to our partners, Pharmatan and Imogene Ingredients, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange, and the Fence Post, Westway Feed Products, Allied Genetic Resources, Livestock Market, Equine Market, and AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler. And crew, so glad you all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. We've got updates there multiple times a week, so check us out. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call and text us 24/7 at 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger approved. Stay ranchy and ranch it up.